My name is Angela Smith, Merritt Ward. I'm from Lynch, Kentucky, born and raised here, Harlan County. What I know about the Kentucky Reunion when it started, I was a little girl, probably 7, 80s, somewhere around there. And at that time, they were, it was probably about 10 chapters or less, I guess, when they first started. And my mother was a part of the Lynch chapter and has been since her death. I never missed a reunion. In the early years, kids didn't attend. You know, they would have a bus out here in the schoolyard. They'd get on the bus, you know, they suitcases, and they would go from city to city every year, different cities, to have the Kentucky reunion. And as time went on, I'd probably say in my mindset, probably about the mid 80s, I guess, you start to see younger kids go there. My first real reunion was in Indianapolis, and that was in 1978 when I graduated from high school. I had my own room and everything, so at that time, I'm adult, I'm in the mix of everything. You know, I got my own room, I'm a part of the reunion, which was really exciting. But like I said, my mother been in there for, it would have been the 48th year this year, well 49th, because next year is the 50th year. It was just a fun thing to see them all out in the schoolyard, you know, as little kids getting on the bus and going to different cities and stuff for the reunion. The uniqueness to me is that being from the United States, we're the only state in the United States to have a Kentucky reunion or have a reunion period. You know, you have family reunions, you have class reunions, different social clubs have different reunions and stuff, but this is the only social club that have a state reunion where everybody that lived in Kentucky, so to speak, come together once a year, Labor Day weekend, and go to different cities for the Kentucky reunion. But initially it started like just for Lynch, so to speak, because Lynch had lost so many people as far as moving away. As they got out of high school, college, they moved away, never came back. So these 7 guys and this one lady that lived in Cleveland got together. One of them had a nightclub, so they got together and they thought, man, you know, we go home every Labor Day, every Memorial Day, we ought to do something for as the state is concerned, have a Kentucky reunion so everybody can be involved like Memorial Day. So they started the Kentucky reunion, and Cleveland was the first city that started it. It's been in Dayton, Detroit, Milwaukee, Chicago, Lexington, Louisville, Connecticut, Cleveland, Indianapolis, Georgia. I should be looking at you, don't I? But I'm reading. Lynch have had theirs, but theirs normally was in Lexington or either Louisville. And the thing with that is only one city in the state can have a chapter, and Lynch was the originator of the Kentucky Reunion, so Lexington and Louisville had to piggyback off of Lynch, being they're the main leader as far as having a chapter, and they didn't have a place big enough to house everybody that come every year, so they had theirs in Lexington or either Louisville. Louisville and Lexington disbanded for some reason, I don't know. We tried several times to get Louisville back on the run, but they, we never could get it. But anyway, that's where, as far as the cities, it's been in St. Louis, Georgia, Memphis, Nashville. I think Lynch is special for the simple reason it being a coal mining town, and most of the people that lived here and left, their parents were coal miners. My mother, like I say, was one of the first women to be called in the coal mine, which she got scared and wouldn't go, but the other women went. And then I say it, my sister, she was in the coal mine, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Drina was there, I think about 15 years she was in the coal mine. Oh, Lynch is special to me. Number one, it's home. That's where I was born and raised. And the love that we had from the grandparents in Lynch growing up, I didn't know my grandparent, but every other grandparent was like your grandparent. Um, Lynch just have so much love and just have a peace of mind, and coming home every year is just a peace of mind where people were just thrilled to come home, where their kids can run free and don't have to worry about, anybody grabbing them or snatching them or whatever. It's just a free kind of town. Just lots of love. That's the main thing as far as I'm concerned. As far as Lynch, it's just being a loving city and being that country kind of thing where, like I said, everybody took care of everybody. Everybody knew everybody and still know everybody. Even coming back home with your kids, people don't know the kids, but they can see them. Oh, that's a Smith, or that's a Clark, or that's a Ward, or that's a, that's a Snow. Everybody know who you are, even if they don't know you personally, just by your face and who you are. That look. Yeah, I know who that is. Or that's a Baskin, or that's a Mitchell. Or that's a Thomas or a Stewart, or whatever. So everybody know everybody, and that's a good thing. Just being close and everybody knowing everybody here. Like I say, my mom was one of the first. I think it was like 5 or 7 of them that they hired initially when they started to allow women to go in the coal mine. I kind of remember it was my mother, this Ruthie Mae, Kay Francis, Ava Thomas, my sister Drina Smith Thomas, Nita Chapman, what was her name? Patsy Tinsley. That's 8. And there's a few more that I just can't recall. It was a couple white women that went in. Like I said, I don't remember their names. But like I said, initially when they start women to allow women to go in, all of them went by my mother because she's checking out. Yeah. Yeah, most of them did practically the same thing as the men. They went in the coal mines. I don't know per se the jobs, but I know my sister, if I'm not mistaken, she drove a coal cart. I guess where you get the coal and bring it in and out. You bring it to the outside and they load it on the trucks and stuff like that. And they cut coal and chiseled and done just like the men. Only change that I've seen by people that have died and went on. Um, it's not as many people attend now that did back in the day when they first started. I'm telling you, back in the day, they probably had 2,000 or 3,000 people per reunion, and probably even more than that, to be truthful. Now you don't see as many, and like I said, all of the grandparents and a lot of the parents have, died, and naturally they don't come, and then the kids don't come. So it's not as huge as it used to be, and they're trying to get younger people into joining the clubs and stuff, the chapters, so they can kind of keep it going on. Because at one time they was even saying after the 50th we're gonna cut it off, but we hope that it don't happen. So we're just trying to get more people involved and to get more ideas to come in, to raise more money, to keep it going, so to speak. I think it's important for the history of Kentucky, or Lynch, Benham and Cumberland, so to speak. I call it LBC. But I think it's important because so many, like I say, parents have died, and this is a legacy that can lead from my generation to my kids and my grandkids and great grandkids. And we just like to see that continue as a legacy for Lynch itself, being that the people that originally started the Kentucky Reunion were from Lynch itself, to just keep it going. So, like you say, not only just Lynch, Benham and Cumberland, or even Harlan County can see it, or people around the world to see, well, man, I mean, we never knew this was going on. And we've had different mayors and governors come and speak at the reunions, that they held in different cities, have come to, give their thanks and give donations and little trinkets and stuff, whatnot, to keep in regards to them, showing that, hey, man, this is something great. We never heard of this. So the legacy, as far as that, I think just to keep it going for our grandkids to know that this is what we've done in our hometown that nobody else in the world have ever done. Well, this building that we're sitting in right now originally was the Lynch Colored School, which they have a sign outside right now. As I said, they took the covering down when they integrated the schools here. It was 3 schools, 2 up in East Main and this one for West Main. West Main was a black school, and this is where my mother, my sister, and them went. I didn't attend because by the time I started school, they had integrated. But this is where all the blacks went to this school, Lynch Colored School, and like I say, even Benham, Kentucky, their blacks went here. And then when they integrated, Benham had their white school, which integrated, and that's when their kids started to go to Benham, and they went to Cumberland for their high school. But getting back to the 3 Lynch schools, it was Lynch Elementary, this was Lynch Junior High from 6th to the 7th, which was the Lynch Colored School. Then you had the high school, 9th through 12th, and that's where we went to school. Well, I went from 66 forward as being integrated school here in Lynch, Kentucky. Well, what I would like for people to know is it being a coal mining town, and when they closed the coal mines down, that pushed a lot of people out of Lynch, Benham, and Cumberland, so to speak. Like I said, when I was growing up, I think the population was anywhere from 1,600 to maybe 2,000. Now, the last I looked online, it was like 400, for its population. And I think with the coal mining closing down, like I said, they pushed a lot of people out and dropped the population, and they lost a lot of revenue because there's no jobs here for people. Most of the people here now are either grandmothers that's taking care of their grandkids, or their kids, some of their kids are still here, and they're here, with their kids. You got some families got 3 generations living in one household. You got the mother, her daughters, and then her kids, all living in one household. What else you asked me?
We want to make sure.
I would like them to know that, like I say, Lynch we had a good upbringing in Lynch. Like I said, just the love of the people coming back every year for Memorial Day, people going to the reunion, and just keeping that spirit up, that loving spirit, to want to keep doing this, coming home to visit your family and friends, and likewise with the Kentucky reunion.